If you've ever paused in the kitchen, cracked an egg into a pan, and quietly wondered whether this food is still okay for you at this stage of life, you're not alone. Eggs have carried a strange reputation for decades. At one point they were praised, then they were feared, then they were limited. And now, slowly science is bringing the conversation back to balance. So today, instead of rushing or sensationalizing anything, let's take a calm, honest look at what actually happens inside your body when you eat 4 eggs a day. Not through headlines or outdated warnings, but through how your body truly responds over time. Because when you understand how eggs work with your biology, not against it, they stop feeling confusing and start making sense. Before we go further, let me ask you something, and really sit with it for a moment. Have you ever avoided a food because you were told you should, even though deep down your body seemed to feel better when you ate it? For many people, eggs fall into that exact category. For years, the biggest concern around eggs has been cholesterol. And that concern didn't come from nowhere. It came from old assumptions that dietary cholesterol directly raised blood cholesterol in a harmful way. What we understand now is much more nuanced. Your body doesn't simply absorb cholesterol from food and stack it into your arteries. In fact, your liver produces the majority of the cholesterol circulating in your blood. It does this every day, adjusting output based on what your body needs. So, when eggs become a consistent part of your diet, something interesting happens. Instead of cholesterol climbing unchecked, your liver often reduces its own production. HDL, often called the good or protective cholesterol because it helps carry excess cholesterol out of your bloodstream, frequently rises. LDL, the form that moves cholesterol around the body, tends to shift in size, becoming larger and less reactive. Triglycerides often improve. This isn't about raising or lowering numbers in isolation. It's about improving how cholesterol behaves inside the body. And that's an important distinction, because heart health is influenced far more by inflammation, blood sugar stability, and particle behavior than by eggs on a plate. Once that fear settles, it becomes easier to see eggs for what they truly are. One of the most complete foods nature ever designed. Unlike muscle meats, like chicken breast or steak, eggs weren't designed for movement. They were designed to create life. Inside a single egg are all the raw materials needed to build cells, tissues, organs, and systems from scratch. That's why egg protein behaves differently than other proteins. When you eat eggs, nearly every gram of protein is absorbed and used. Very little is wasted. This is what's meant by biological value, and eggs sit at the very top of that scale. In practical terms, this means your body doesn't have to work as hard to extract what it needs. Over time, people often notice better recovery after activity, steadier strength, fewer aches from everyday movement, and a subtle sense that their body bounces back more easily. That's not because eggs are stimulating anything, it's because they reduce inefficiency. And eggs don't just provide structure, they provide fuel. Unlike very lean proteins, eggs contain natural fats, especially in the yolk, that allow energy to be released more slowly and steadily. This is why people who eat eggs for breakfast often report fewer energy crashes. Blood sugar remains more stable. Hunger stays quieter for longer. If you've ever switched from cereal or toast to eggs and noticed that you feel satisfied well into the afternoon, that's your metabolism responding to balanced fuel. Your body isn't scrambling for energy, it's receiving it calmly. There's also something quietly protective happening in egg whites. Egg whites contain natural antimicrobial compounds, substances that evolved to protect developing life from bacteria. When cooked, these compounds support immune balance without interfering with nutrients. And despite old myths, properly cooked eggs do not cause biotin deficiency, a condition where the body can't access enough of a B vitamin needed for healthy skin, hair, and nervous system function. Cooking neutralizes the binding compounds, allowing your body to absorb nutrients normally. Now let's talk about something especially important as you age: muscle preservation. There's a specific amino acid in eggs called leucine. Think of leucine as a signal. not just a building block. When leucine enters your system, it tells your body, it's time to repair, it's time to maintain. This matters because muscle loss doesn't happen suddenly. It happens quietly, year by year, and it affects far more than strength. Muscle supports balance. Muscle stabilizes joints. Muscle protects independence. Eating eggs consistently helps send that maintenance signal regularly. Over time, this supports mobility, confidence, and resilience, not through intensity, but through consistency. And eggs don't stop at muscle. They also deliver nutrients that quietly support brain health, choline, natural vitamin B12, and folate working together. These nutrients feed a process called methylation, which plays a role in DNA repair, neurotransmitter production, detoxification, and cognitive clarity. When methylation slows down, people often experience brain fog, low mood, poor focus, or mental fatigue, symptoms that are often dismissed as just aging. Eggs provide these nutrients in forms your body recognizes and uses efficiently. This is why many people notice clearer thinking, improved mood, and better mental stamina when eggs are eaten regularly. It's not stimulation, it's restoration. In addition to muscle and brain health, your eyes benefit as well. Egg yolks contain lutein and zeaxanthin, antioxidants that accumulate directly in the retina. Over time, they help protect the delicate tissues responsible for vision. If you spend time on screens, drive at night, or notice sensitivity to bright light, these nutrients matter more than you might think. Many people report steadier vision and improved night clarity after months of consistent intake, not overnight, but gradually. Your brain also responds deeply to egg yolks. The fats found in eggs, phospholipids, are the same fats your brain cells are built from. When you supply these consistently, your brain doesn't need to compensate. That's why eggs are often included in diets for students, seniors, and anyone supporting cognitive health. The brain doesn't just like eggs, it recognizes them. Eggs also quietly deliver vitamin K2, bioavailable vitamin A, and vitamin D, nutrients involved in bone strength, immune signaling, and hormone balance. Taken together, eggs don't act like a supplement. They act like a system. And yes, quality matters, but accessibility matters too. If you can choose pasture-raised eggs, that's ideal. These eggs often contain a richer nutrient profile due to the hen's environment and diet. Organic refers to feed, not space, so the best option combines both. But here's the grounding truth. Even standard eggs are nourishing. Don't let the pursuit of perfection keep you from nourishment. What matters most is consistency, and when eggs are paired with the right foods, their impact multiplies. Leafy greens absorb antioxidants better when eaten with egg yolk fat. Onions support detox pathways. Tomatoes provide lycopene that becomes more available when cooked. Avocado adds fiber and metabolic stability. Olive oil or butter supports nutrient absorption without damage. These combinations aren't trendy. They're traditional. So if eggs work well for your body, eating up to 4 a day can be one of the simplest, most affordable ways to support energy, muscle, brain clarity, vision, and long-term wellness. Have you noticed how your body responds when meals are nourishing instead of restrictive? Often, the body doesn't need more rules, it needs better fuel. There's another layer to this story that's worth understanding, especially as your body changes with age, and that's how eggs influence hormones, satiety signals, and the gut-brain connection in quiet but meaningful ways. The fact is that hormones don't disappear as you get older. They shift. And when those signals become unstable, the effects can show up as fatigue, stubborn weight gain, poor sleep, mood changes, or a sense that your body just doesn't respond the way it used to. Eggs support hormone balance because they provide the raw materials hormones are made from. Cholesterol, despite its reputation, is the backbone of many essential hormones, including those involved in stress response, metabolism, and muscle maintenance. When your body receives steady, adequate nutrition, it doesn't need to overcompensate or send distress signals. This is one reason people often report feeling more grounded, calmer, and less reactive when eggs become a regular part of their meals. The body isn't being pushed, it's being supported. Satiety plays a role here too. When you eat eggs, your body releases hormones like peptide YY and GLP-1, signals that tell your brain, we're nourished. You can relax. These signals reduce constant hunger and help prevent the cycle of craving, overeating, and energy crashes. This isn't willpower, it's physiology. Many people notice that when eggs anchor a meal, snacking naturally decreases, meals feel complete, the nervous system settles, and that steadiness carries into the rest of the day. Now let's talk about the gut, because the gut and brain are in constant conversation. Your gut produces neurotransmitters like serotonin and communicates with your brain through the vagus nerve. When digestion is stressed or inflamed, that communication becomes distorted. Brain fog, anxiety, and low mood often follow. With that said, eggs are gentle on digestion for most people. Their nutrients are absorbed efficiently, without excessive fermentation or irritation. This supports a healthier gut environment, which in turn sends clearer, calmer signals back to the brain. Over time, this can translate into improved mood stability, better sleep quality, and a stronger sense of mental clarity, especially when eggs replace ultra-processed foods that disrupt gut balance. And that brings us to a final reflection. There's also something deeply human about the ritual of eating eggs. Cracking them, cooking them slowly, sitting down to a warm, nourishing meal. These moments matter. They signal safety to the nervous system. And when your nervous system feels safe, healing becomes possible. Your body doesn't just respond to nutrients, it responds to consistency, rhythm, and care. And this is where eggs quietly shine, not as a miracle food, but as a reliable one. And that reliability matters more than we often realize. Because real health doesn't come from doing everything perfectly. It comes from showing up consistently, from making small, supportive choices again and again, even on the days when motivation feels low or progress feels slow. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by conflicting advice or discouraged because change didn't happen overnight, this is your reminder to keep going. Your body responds to patterns, not pressure. One nourishing meal, one steady habit, one thoughtful choice at a time. And as you take those steps, it's always wise to keep your healthcare team part of the conversation. Everyone's body and medical history is different, so any meaningful changes should be discussed with your doctor or provider, especially if you're managing ongoing conditions or medications. This information is meant to educate and support, not replace personalized medical care. You don't have to overhaul your life to move forward. You just have to stay present with it. Consistency builds trust between you and your body, and that trust compounds quietly over time. And that's how strength returns. That's how clarity builds. That's how momentum grows, gently but steadily. Every day is another chance to care for the body that's carried you this far. Keep learning, keep moving, keep believing in your own strength, because aging isn't slowing down, it's leveling up. If today's message resonated, take a moment to subscribe, leave a thought in the comments, or share this video with someone who could use a little encouragement. Because together, we're proving that aging well isn't the exception, it's the standard.